Hello guys, welcome to the J2 Crypto Code. If you're looking forward to get into cryptocurrency, you found the right spot. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Currently, right now, I'm at 83 subscribers, and I'm looking forward to reaching my goal of getting to 100 subscribers by the end of the month of April. So for this current video, we're going to briefly go over the current state of Bitcoin. Also, we're going to evaluate how the current market cap plays an extremely important role in where I see Bitcoin now and where I see it moving forward. And as you know, Bitcoin moves the entire market. So it's really important to go over this, and we'll go ahead and get things started and jump into this thing right away. So I wanted to take the opportunity of looking at the overall crypto market chart. Anytime you're studying cryptocurrency, it's really good to understand things from a technical standpoint. Don't just let anyone tell you what direction things are supposed to go. So when I'm looking at this, right, if you've been a part of cryptocurrency over the last six months to a year, you know that we haven't necessarily reached all-time highs, but a lot of the profits were made throughout Q4 of 2024, right? So anywhere during that time period, you can see that the markets went up a lot. Like I've mentioned before, made $40,000 from a profitability standpoint during this time period, and a lot of individuals portfolios were soaring at this particular time. So things were at a $3.6 trillion market cap, but as you can see, right now we've dropped off just about $1 trillion. So that's a lot of liquidity coming out of the market that I believe is going to go straight into the market as we go up, starting Q2 and finishing out the year with this particular thing. So when you want to see where the money is flowing and where the liquidity is going to be, taking a look at the market cap is extremely vital to, some indicators that we see in overall just understanding where the market is going to go ahead of time. So like I just mentioned, the market cap is more of a reliable measure than prices alone. It reflects the overall size and impact of cryptocurrencies. For the current trend, the total crypto market cap is sitting at 2.6 trillion, down from 3.8 trillion, which peaked in 2025 due to regulatory concerns and inflation, right? So the future outlook of this thing is that we're expecting things to project around a 5 trillion to $7 trillion market cap, right? So that's going to be a lot of liquidity that's coming into the market over the next couple of months. And, the flow of money starts with Bitcoin, but if we're going to get this altcoin season, this altcoin pump, or anything in that top 100 to soar, we need this additional capital to come into the market. And I think when the next Fed meeting comes around in May, we'll start to see quantitative easing kind of cool off, and we'll be ready to trigger and fire off for the rest of the year. So I wanted to also take a look at the Bitcoin chart. It's really important when doing this thing from a technical analysis standpoint, seeing where the support is and where certain resistance levels are as well. So as you can see, Bitcoin had already tapped the upper resistance, which it was at about 105,000. And from a psychological standpoint, anything at 100,000 is going to have major resistance. Like that's just a big number, six-figure number, is going to be something extremely hard to bypass. So as you can see here, I have 73,000 basically marked off as a key level of support. A lot of individuals and people in the cryptocurrency market and YouTubers and things like that, they thought that we were never going to break this specific trend level here at about 85,000, which I always knew that we would break that. Just when you take a look at the chart from a long-term time frame, you can see that all the key resistance and all the key support is at about 73,000, where that line is at. So, this is going to be a big opportunity for not only retail, but especially well investors, institutional investors, things like that, that are coming into the market because they don't want to buy Bitcoin up here at this high price. They want to get it on sale. So when we go to that 130 to $160,000 uh, point in a market and price point, is going to be a lot of profitability made on their end, to where they're essentially making a 50% gain on their money, right? So that's going to be extremely important. A lot of support is going to be built here, which is going to obviously give us a lot of support for the next cycle after this cycle is over. So, don't stress yourselves out thinking that we're going into a full bear market. No, this is still um, currently a bull market. It's just for the individuals that are in altcoins, it's not going to be that, because when Bitcoin is going down 10, 20%, altcoins are going to go down 30, 40%. That's just how things work. And that's just, how the cycles play out in totality. So diminishing growth returns every cycle. Each cycle has been produced has produced lower percentage of gains, right? So if you go and look at Bitcoin from the past cycle, each cycle is essentially becoming weaker, right? This cycle, we're 500% from the lows, compared to in the last cycle, we were 1,800% from the lows at this particular point, right? So that's a lot of money, which I've been telling people lately that uh, past cycles don't necessarily follow the same pattern 100%, right? History rhymes, right? Which is going to give us key indicators on how we can move forward, but nothing is going to happen 100% alike the previous cycle, which is why you got to know when to monitor Bitcoin and ETH to take gains and to take profits, and to get out the market and allocate that capital somewhere else. So that's going to be extremely important moving forward. So this is a really good chart that I like to show, because I like to show charts from previous cycles. As you can see, when we reach this specific point in the market where the lower red boxes, where the first red box is here, you can naturally see that at every one of these points, that's where a lot of accumulation occurred before we popped off and hit the banana zone. Now, based off this chart, I tell a lot of people that if you're in at this particular point in the market here at market bottom lows for this particular cycle, once it hits correction phase 2, if it was me, I would get out of the market. I wouldn't necessarily wait for the banana zone, because why would you? You've pretty much already had a banana zone worth of gains from the bottom to the top. So this is something that I wanted to get across and show, because it's really important to take the look at past data and how it correlates with current data as well. So we are 25 months into this cycle. Like I mentioned before, the shortest cycle peaked at 28 months, leaving only a few months for potential upside. So if Bitcoin hasn't peaked yet, the window for bullish movement is closing fast, right? So like I've mentioned before, the market is at a current point to where there's a lot of panic in the market, which I can understand why. But if you don't have the mental fortitude or the capacity to understand where we are and have the vision to have mental toughness and just hold your coins and hold your portfolio and just wait a little longer, then you're going to miss you know a lot of the upside that's going to be coming up over the next couple of months. In my previous video, I put up a drawing that I just drew a couple of weeks ago, giving you some key indicators where you can see not only where Bitcoin is going to be, but where Ethereum could possibly be going into the up and coming months. So how I see it is where, we're in a current state of accumulation. It's giving a lot of individuals some time to buy, Trump is entering a lot of tariff news, which I think on April 2nd, they're going to come to an agreement and he's going to cancel that out. I think he's bluffing, in my opinion. So, um, you know, quantitative easing is going to come. The money printers are going to get turned on because the Fed is not going to have a choice but to pump liquidity into the market. Rates are going to come down. Things are going to come on sale. Crypto is going to rise. So that's currently how I see the market right now. If you don't see it that way, I understand. And if you don't see it that way, you currently haven't been studying. So, study, find some coins that you like, get into this market because a lot of coins are on sale. I'm still DCAing and buying coins. I just bought Say not too long ago. It was a really great utility coin that could solve, which is an altcoin that could solve some, major fundamental problems for Ethereum. But besides that, I'm still DCAing, I'm still buying, and I'm not letting outside influences deteriorate how I'm thinking about this market because I know the upside. I know what can come with just being patient. Patience is key, guys, and having faith and believing that God is going to take you where you need to go is also important as well. So, like I always mention, please like, subscribe, and comment. Um, like I mentioned in all my videos, I want to build a sense of community. Like it as well for the algorithm, so I can get more visibility to the crypto space because this is where I want to be. This is a platform that I'm trying to build, and I'm doing it all on my own. So, please help out if you can. Like, subscribe, and comment. I appreciate it. I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Stay tuned. I'm J2, and this is J2 Crypto Code, and I'm out.